The configuration button shows all the configuration parameters of the application. There are more than 250 parameters, so we will deal today with the most useful or important. We could begin by the activity log actions parameter. OpenKM can log many information about any activity or fact happened inside the DMS. To see an example, we go to Utilities, Database Query. We select the type JVDC, we execute, and we select the OKM activity. We execute, and then we can see that a list appears in the bottom with the actions performed inside OpenKM. We find here all the information that let us fulfill our obligations regarding the most demanding data protection policies and laws. Each user's click on a folder, file, over each tab in the Properties panel means a new log line. The larger number of files will result in a bigger log. A larger number of users will mean a bigger log because they increase the number of actions and tasks performed over a repository that increase day by day. In the Case Center, OpenKM 6.4 Administration Guide Activity Log, we have information about every auditable fact in OpenKM. Events related to the authentication, events related to the documentation. For instance, cancel document checkout means cancel the edition of a file. Checking document means confirm the edition of a file. Get children document. After select a node, a folder for example, it provides the items collected inside. Get document content means download the content of the last version of the file. Get document content by version, download the content if there are more versions. Lock a document means block a file, etc. The administrator should determine which level of traceability they want runs. For instance, would we be interested in know when a user had clicked over a folder to know if they have seen the children's of the folder? Maybe not. Above all, if that is the normal way of work for the OpenKM users. We may be more interested in know if they have accessed to the file, etc. By default, the activity log actions come with the more useful or common tasks. The logging of users, the logout of them, create every node inside OpenKM. The wildcard means that this event is multiplied by 5. OpenKM will audit the folders, documents, records, mails, and attachments. Delete, that means send something to the litter bin. Purge, that means empty the litter bin. Move, that means move any item. Copy, that means copy any element. Checkout document, that means edit a file. Checking document, that means upload any new version of the file. And miss text extraction failure. It will audit the faults that may arise during the text extraction procedure. In OpenKM, the users can search any document by any word inside them. To enable this feature, OpenKM should extract the text of the file. In my demo, the text extraction procedure is managed like a queue. The text extraction queue is available in the Statistics button. If we upload a document under Open, we go to the search engine and we try to search the file by any word inside the body of the document, we realize that we can't. This is in line with the information that we have in the tab Text Extraction Pending. If we come back to Statistics Text Extraction Queue, we can check that the document that we have just uploaded appears here. We can manage the text extraction queue from the cron tab, time-based job scheduler. In cron tab view, there are a set of jobs that are executed periodically at fixed times or intervals. And that is the case of the text extraction procedure. The text extractor worker works in a 5-minute intervals. Each 5 minutes the application starts. OpenKM extracts all the text of the file, and so on. As we will not wait until the next 5 minutes procedure, we will execute the task. If we come back to Statistics, Text Extraction Queue, we can check that the text extraction queue is empty. This means that OpenKM has extracted all the content of the document. So if we go to the search engine and we try to search the file by content, this time we will find the document. So if there is any failure during the extraction procedure, we can log the execution of this internal task of OpenKM. We have to bear in mind that the administrator can decide that the text extraction procedure won't be managed like a queue, but as part of the uploading procedure. The activity log tab is linked with this parameter. As we have said before, the OKM activity tab saves everything happened in OpenKM. The size of this table tends to infinity. In average installations, after a year, this table can contain between 1 to 5 million of log lines. To see an example, we can go to Utilities. We will see the number of log lines that we have in this demo. This is not a real installation. It is only an instance that shows the activity performed only for the demos of the OpenKM. For this reason, it is advised to export the content of this table each several periods of time. And if the administrator needs to analyze the log, then they could perform the traceability from that exportation environment. As we can see in my demo, I don't log the task performed by the administrator. If, for example, an organization becomes the OpenKM administrator of another organization, could be interesting log the administrator activity. Finally, it is the administrator who decides the length and the depth of the log of the DMS, bearing in mind that it is a table that grows very much and very fast. The activity log is a very necessary resource, but not used on a daily basis. Application URL. This parameter is used for the OpenKM notifications. For example, when a user uploads a document, they can send a notification to users. And in that notification appears a URL where the user can click and access to the document management system, specifically where it is the shared item. The URL is built using this parameter. The application can connect from an intranet, extranet, or from the two options at once. It means having an internal IP and externally a subdomain. If we have an intranet and an extranet, we have to have an URL that is accessible both from inside and outside. Background antivirus check. This parameter is useful if you have connected an external antivirus to the document management system. Browser password autocompletion. It helps the browser to autocomplete the password. Checking comment mandatory. It is useful if when a user uploads a document, we want that the application requests the inclusion of a comment. CSV format delimiter, CSV format ignore empty lines, CSV format quote character, CSV format skip header, CSV format comment indicator. In the search, we can download the results in CSV file format. The parameters allow process the CSV format and export the CSV files. CSV format delimiter, it allows you to set the characters that delimit the columns. CSV format quote character, it is used to quote the contents of each column. Custom login, custom header height, custom header source. These parameters are related to the user interface customization. In OpenKM 6.4 development, change default login web page, we can see more information. This maps a file folder in the Tomcat. So what we do is tell into the application that instead of showing OpenKM.login access interface, it will show other. This changes the login interface. You can also put a banner. Custom header height and custom header source are the parameters used to put such a menu on the top of the OpenKM window that gives users access to the management of other applications of the organization, etc. Dashboard user activity. This is the parameter that helps manage the dashboard area. On the dashboard area, the user can access to information related to their profile and also to general indicators. Well, for very large organizations, which usually make a quite big repository importations, from 10,000 to 100,000 documents per day, there are informative sections of the dashboard that then are not useful. Latest documents, folders, files created. These tables with 10,000 entries would be absurd and also generate a lot of lag. So for large companies, the general recommendation is disable this parameter. The user would not receive these updates that on the other hand would be useless, and the company has not to manage that extra lag. The lag of these information sections are in Utilities, Database Query, OpenKM Dashboard Activity. Database pagination optimization. Is this the parameter which optimizes the browser page documentation? It increases the speed of the pagination procedure. Default user role, default admin role. These parameters set the user connection based on the user's role administration. Any user who wants to access must have the default user role. If not, when they log, they will get the error message 403. Besides, sometimes these parameters should be changed when OpenKM integrates with Active Directory, for example. Sometimes the administrator role should be named in other way. Default blank. This parameter is now subject to the options accessible from the login interface. Download message subject, download message body, notification message subject, notification message body, propose description message subject, propose description message body, task message subject, task message body. These are the parameters that allow the configuration of OpenKM email messages. In my demo, if I have loaded examples, they appear in English. So for Spanish-speaking users, the administrator should prepare them in Spanish, and so on. Download token validity. It is the set expiration token discharge. The value means the effective days of the token. Download zip live max file. The value marks the limit beyond which the zip is created in background. OpenKM makes an initial check, and if the repository to download exceeds the value, OpenKM prepares the zip in batch. When the DMS finishes, the user receives a mail notification. If the value is 0, means it is not operational. So the application will create the zip in live. Extensions TimeMC plugins determines the buttons available on HTML editing documents. If we go to templates and we create a new HTML file, we can see the features available in the toolbar. If there is doubt, we always can search in the case center. To work with HTML documents, we must be enable the HTML4 extension in our profile. We can create links to the links are made based on the UUID of the document, so it doesn't matter if users rename the docs. Hibernate indexer mask indexer. If this parameters is activated, means that the document management system can use all the processors of the machine in parallel. Hibernate indexer treats index writer. Hibernate indexer treats loads objects. Hibernate indexer subsequent fetching. In the case we have the Hibernate indexer mask indexer enabled, these parameters must be taken into account. Lead active UUID. It is used to determine which parameters are used in the program if you create new tasks in it. Max file size. To set the maximum file size in OpenKM. If the value is 0, means that there is no limit. Max search classes. When we look for a document extension, for example a PDF, internally a series of nodes are generated. When there are many children, we must increase the value. The consultation done in the Hibernate may be too complex, so then the conditions should be increased. In general, a 1024 value is enough. Max search result. Let's think that we do a page search through the API. In OpenKM 6.4 Development API Description, OpenKM Described, we can see an explanation of page search. Let's think that I want to see all the PDF in the application, and I have 1 million of PDF. The search will not stop until we have the million. To avoid it, we use the max search result, and we assign a value. The max search classes and max search results are related to the search. These parameters determines concurrency allowed in the search. Principal adapter. It is a parameter connected to the main database. Here you can connect the adapter to do what is needed. Principal identifier validation sets the valid character for creating users. For example, in my demo, the first letter of the name dot surname are invalid because it is not allowed the dot. Repository content checksum. If we want to have the checksum available in the table and also check it. Repository purgatory home. When we delete a doc, first it goes to the trash and then we can purge it. Imagine that a high-level user deletes a valid document and then they purge the trash. 2 months later, the VIP user asks you the recovery of that document. Theoretically, when we purge the trash, the document is removed definitely. For these sensitive cases, the administrator can set up a directory prior to the final disposal export. This practice avoids the release of the space, but we recover the document. Restrict file name. The users are not allowed to upload documents that have these characters in the name. Restrict file meme. You can restrict the insertion of documents by the meme type. If the meme type is not in OpenKM, the user won't be able to upload a file. Schedule dashboard refresh. It lets update dashboard depending on the value. In my demo, every 30 minutes, the dashboard information is updated. Schedule session keep alive. This parameter sets the time period during which the user session is open, even if the user does nothing. Security Access Manager. Used to manage the security management model. We can find a user that must not access to certain parts of the directory, but they need access to the document that is there. For example, the user access to a PDF for the search engine, but not by the taxonomy. This logic may occur. For these cases, the simple security is the type of security that can work with the information in this way. Security search evaluation. It is the parameter that allows the security manager to check the entire route to reach the required node. If we need to change the security in OpenKM 6.4 setup security configuration, we have all the necessary information. Security extended mask. It is used to manage the privilege parameters managed from the Security tab. Store raw mail. OpenKM stores the mails in one site and the attachment in other place. If you want to keep them in its original state, this parameter is the one that allows it. The other important parameters are utilities that OpenKM uses to meet additional requirements. System div PDF show the differences between versions of a PDF. System.script and system image might convert to convert the image format, resize them, etc. System HTML to PDF to convert HTML docs into PDF. System OCR to manage the OCR path. System login lowercase. OpenKM is case sensitive, but some organizations make the Active Directory not. For that cases, this parameter let the login all lowercase. Text welcome, we can change the name of the application on the tab navigation. Text title, in the Access interface, you can customize the input message. Thumbnail size lightbox, to set the size of the thumbnail in the lightbox. Thumbnail size properties, to set the thumbnail size in the Properties panel. Thumbnail size search, to set the thumbnail size in the search engine. Version numeration adapter and version numeration format. These are the parameters that allow you to choose a type of numbering within the document management. Instead of working with 1.1 version, we can work with 1.1.1 version. This is a parameter to agree and set from the beginning, although it is possible to change it. In OpenKM 6.4 Administration Guide Configuration Parameters, Document Configuration, we have available different numbering version schemes. There are possibilities to migrate one from another. Text extraction batch. It is used to establish that the indexing task won't complete it until all documents were processed. Text extraction concurrent, to set the use of multiple CPUs in this activity. If it is not activated, the application only will use one. Text extraction threads. It allows you to set the number of cores that will be used for this activity. And security mode multiple. It allows you to run independently changes simultaneously. For example, in the Security tab, you can select various privileges at the same time and run them simultaneously. For more information, don't hesitate to contact us through openkm.com, Facebook, or Twitter.